Good afternoon, my friends. Welcome back to the channel. Hitchhiking Yeti here. Thank you so much for joining me today. We are in Florida and we are going to do a little bit of roadside attraction stuff over the next several hours. We're going to look at some cool abandoned places and or things. There's actually right outside of Daytona Beach, where I'm located right now, at this old Sugar Mills Gardens. We are going to go look at, it's kind of a abandoned theme park. It was like a thing back in the 1940s, 1950s. We're going to walk back there and look at some of the old prehistoric dinosaurs that's left over from that theme park. But now it's just a garden area with a bunch of nice plants and palms and things like that you can walk through. But we're going to kind of venture back here and look at some of the old theme park stuff that's left over. And then from there, we're going to move up a little bit further up into toward Jacksonville, Palm Coast area. Actually, more around Palm Coast. There's a cool place up there I want to stop and see. The Dixie Highway, maybe you heard of it. It's like a road with some old like brick paved road. It's abandoned now. And we're going to go check that out. And then if you're a fan of stuff that has to do with NASA and or the space shuttle, guess what? We're going to go actually look at an old abandoned fuel like the fuel cell for the space shuttle is actually right off the side of the road up toward Jacksonville. You can just go up to it, walk right up next to the side of it and see how big it is. So that should be a lot of fun. So we got a few cool little things to look at as I move up through Florida. I hope you're ready for a good time today. Look at some old roadside attractions. These are some of my favorite vlogs to make. I just love it. I just love abandoned things. So if you're ready, I'm ready, my friends. Let's begin. All right, my friends, this here is where we're at. This is Sugar Mill Gardens right outside of Daytona Beach. And I guess we're just gonna make our way back through the gardens themselves. We should be able to see some of the old Bongo Land theme park, some of the relics left behind, the old dinosaurs left behind, things like that. So let's get walking back that way and I'll tell you a little bit of history about this location. Oh man, I gotta tell you, this place right here is absolutely beautiful. Hard to believe at one time this was a theme park for dinosaurs, but it was back in the 1940s. Some of the land was leased by Dr. Perry Sperber, and he was Daytona Beach's first dermatologist, and he had a keen interest in dinosaurs. He even published a book at one time called Sex and the Dinosaur, which described how modern animals could be related to prehistoric reptiles. I guess, you know, something like alligators, things like that. So pretty cool. He had this guy named Manny Lawrence who created the huge dinosaurs and other prehistoric animals. Lawrence crafted life-size beasts out of chicken wire and concrete, which tower over the few tourists who trickle through here. All right, so right here we have some historic sugarcane machinery. This is actually the rollers that would like crush sugarcane. And it was used it said animal power, so they would use animals, I guess, to make this mechanism turn, and these here would roll, and then you would feed your sugarcane through. I'm not a historian when it comes to sugarcane or anything like that. I have no idea how they would hook animals up to this. I do know it was not dinosaurs or anything like that. It didn't have anything to do with the theme park, but this was an old sugarcane plantation at one time, or a sugarcane mule, if I should say it like that. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Keep walking through here. Got some really big banana plants here. Look at those things. Man, those things are huge. They're probably 25, 30 feet tall. Look at this grasshopper. Look at that thing. That grasshopper is huge. That is prehistoric if I've ever seen it. I mean, look at the size of that thing. I bet he'd keep you up at night if he was rubbing his legs together. Man, that's a big grasshopper. My wife, she's got some pretty good eyes. She spotted that out real quick. All right, let's go look for some dinosaurs for real now. I love this sign right here. It says, "Do not feed the dinosaurs." And it's kind of like got a chunk where the O and the T is supposed to be. Pretty cool. Right here, it actually talks about the prehistoric animals were made by M.D. Manny Lawrence back in the 1950s. He must be getting close to a dinosaur because you can see some footprints going along here. Look at this right here. We got this little person sitting here reading a book. And this is one of those little libraries where you can come like trade a book out. seeing more and more of these around. We got a lot of them down around Carolina Beach where we're at. But yeah, right here. Oh, right over here's a dinosaur. Too cool. My wife's walking right toward it. And right here they have a dinosaur here, but this is not, you know, from old school. This is something obviously somebody else made. But this is the one. Oh, check out that cute little boat. There's all kinds of little hidden things back here in this garden. Yeah, check that out. I think it's so cool they kept this stuff from all those years ago, back in the 40s and the 50s. And, you know, taking care of it and just turn it into a cool garden. You know, botanical gardens right here. That's pretty awesome. That's pretty rad. All right, so the cool thing is right here next to the first dinosaur that you come to, right here they have a sign up talking about Bongo Land, give you a little bit of history about it. Pretty cool. You can just pause that if you guys want to read more about it. But I'm going to keep on moving down this way, see what else, see what other kind of cool prehistoric creatures we might find. So these gardens back here is really a maze of these trails. It's quite thick. There's not a lot of wind. It's kind of humid back here, kind of warm. Don't really know where these dinosaurs are located. And ooh, right here comes one. What this is going to be? Looks like we got ourselves a Triceratops. Yeah, right here is the Triceratops. A plant eater existing 100 million years ago. And that's what he looks like. Look at those horns on him, man. That looks pretty cool. Pretty awesome. Very tall too. I don't know if it's going to really, you can tell it in this video or not, but yeah, kind of all darked out. It's very shady. It's hard back here. The lighting's not good because of all the sun and all the foliage, the greenery we have. But yeah, that hump of that back right there, you're probably looking at about 10 feet tall. Very, very big. All right, check out this awesome tree right here behind me. It's got like a little white picket fence. Is that not beautiful? Look at that. That is awesome. But we have us another one right over here to look at. This is a sloth. This is a giant ground sloth. That's what this is called. It's a vegetarian mammal that lived 110,000 years ago. And right here it is. Just right underneath this little tree right here next to this bridge. And that's what he looks like. That's pretty cool looking. A lot of detail on this one compared to some of the other ones. Maybe a little bit more because you can, if I can zoom in, you can actually see his teeth a little bit. The grooves that they cut into his teeth. He has some pretty cool detail. Look at his eyes. This is another awesome one. I just think it's fascinating that somebody, you know, built this stuff, you know, back in the 1940s, 1950s. And I mean, it didn't make it long, you know, not enough people came and you know, walked through the theme park or whatever, but it's still kind of cool that all these years later, here we are in 2024 and it's still here. People still enjoying it, just in a much different way, you know, because this garden area, this is beautiful. These trees, the moss, all the different greenery and plants. I don't know a lot about plants or anything, but I know one thing. I know pretty when I see it, and this is like awesome. This is absolutely stunning garden area just to come and view and see some cool theme park relics from years gone by. All right, we found us another dinosaur right here. This is a Dimetrodon. This here is a ferocious meat eater that lived 250 million years ago. And this is what this little guy looks like. With the teeth on him. All right, my friends, that will pretty much do it for us at this location. The old theme park, Bongo Land. Pretty cool. coming back here and checking this. I love botanical gardens, and my wife is a big fan of like plants and stuff, so this was like a win-win for us. And it also, when you're down here in Florida, look at all this great shade we have here. I mean, this is beautiful, and it's shaded all at the same time. It feels kind of cool back here. Not a lot of breeze, but in this shade it is so much cooler than it is when you just step into the like that sunny area right there. You can tell the difference. You can really feel the sunshine. So if you're a fan of stuff like this, I definitely recommend coming and checking it out. Everybody here has been so nice, and the guy on the John Deere tractor, it seemed like every time I turned around he was right there, and he was kind of joking. He was like, I guess you don't want to be chased by a dinosaur or a John Deere tractor today, and he kind of laughed, you know, so it was a funny little ha-ha moment. So pretty cool. So now we're going to head back on Interstate 95 and make our way up toward the Palm Coast area, and we're going to go check out the old Dixie Highway, or what's left of it. It's an abandoned road that used to run from, well, it was actually a series of roads, but back in the day it was always kind of thought to run from Miami to Chicago or Montreal, something like that. So it's a series of roads, but the one we're going to go look at today is the one. It was actually made out of brick pavers. So really cool. So let's go and go check that out next. Should be a lot of fun. Another abandoned place will be checked off my list. All right, my friends, we have made it. I'm somewhere between St. Augustine and Palm Coast, and this here is the old abandoned Dixie Highway. They call this Old Brick Road. That is the official name today, but this is known as the Old Dixie Highway. And this 10-mile stretch of logging road is actually a part of the Registry of Historic Places now, as of like 2005. So really cool that they are preserving it, and it's still here. And check this out, the bricks, after all these years, over 100 years, are still beneath like the sand. Most of the road I think is pretty much sand covered, but this area right here, you can still see these old bricks that was laid to rest here back in the early 1900s. And it's pretty cool because some of the bricklaying companies that made these bricks, they actually stamped their company name on it, as this one here says like Graves. So this right here was actually in Birmingham, Alabama. This was the company that made that brick. And just look at how good a shape it's still in. I mean, ain't that freaking cool? That is so awesome. This is such a cool place right here, and I'm glad it's preserved. I've read about this place in the past, and there's actually, since I've been sitting here, there's nobody even driving up and down this road. You know, this is one of those things a lot of people don't really think about. And it looks like at one time it did have like a regular, you know, blacktop pavement on it or something in some places, but you can still make out the bricks to this very day after all these years. Right when I said nobody really comes up this highway off that often, here comes somebody speeding up through here, so I had to kind of step to the side real quick. But now we're pretty much done here. We got to see the Dixie Highway, check out the bricks, really cool. A lot of cool historical history going on right here. It's kind of exciting to see stuff like that, or at least for me. And so now we're just going to make our way on up to Jacksonville area, but not in Jacksonville, just outside of Jacksonville on the south side. There is a old NASA space shuttle fuel tank just sitting on the side of the road, abandoned. And that's where we're headed to next. And then I'm going to read you a little bit of information about it and why it's there. Should be fun. Let's continue on, my friends. Let's continue on. Life is a highway. All right, my friends, welcome to the St. Johns River right here just south of Jacksonville, Florida. I just got my first glimpse of the space shuttle fuel tank. You can see it right there in the middle of the screen across the St. Johns River. We're about to enter into Clay County, Florida, and go check out this space shuttle fuel cell. This is kind of exciting. All right, friends, we have made it to Green Cove Springs, Florida, just south of Jacksonville, right off the St. Johns River. And right here behind me is a true space shuttle fuel tank. This is like mind-blowing to me right now. This is so crazy. So this fuel tank right here behind me was actually built, estimated to be built in 1977, and it was used for stress testing before the shuttle actually took flight. It was on display at the Kennedy Space Center for many years, but after the space shuttle program ended in 2011, NASA auctioned off and sold it to a company called Wings of Dreams Aviation Museum in Keystone Heights, Florida. So I read a little bit more about it, and the reason it still sits here is due to, I guess, like moving it was way more expensive and it was going to be a major pain in the butt. So this thing has been sitting here for quite a few years. I mean, like 10 years or more. It's just been sitting here kind of dormant right here on this little access road, and this road actually takes you right out here to the water, and they got multiple piers and a lot of construction going on out in this area, like a building yard. I don't know what this place is, but it's just got a lot of abandoned things, and this fuel cell happens to be one of them. And this thing is monstrous. I think I read it is 153 feet long. So pretty amazing. I grew up in a time where the space shuttle was so cool to watch it take off when I was a kid, and unfortunately, you know, I was of age to understand what was happening when the sad thing when the Challenger blew up, you know, back in the 80s, and that was so bad with the school teacher on board and everything. And that's some of the early memories I have of the space shuttle program. But all in all, man, this thing is monstrous. It is unbelievable. But they do have like some pictures, I guess, like where it used to sit at NASA, and right there's what it used to look like. It actually had the external rocket boosters connected to it back then, so that was pretty cool. They got different pictures of it, of people like next to it back in the days, I guess, when they was testing it and things like that. And then they got these pictures. It just shows you how big those rocket boosters are. Look at that, man, that is monstrous. And then we got some stuff down here about the tank itself, little specs. 153.8 feet long, diameter was 27.6 feet, and then an empty tank, it weighs 58,500 pounds, and then the gross weight at launch 1.6 million pounds. That is absolutely crazy. That is pretty awesome. Well, you know, I guess if you want to come check this thing out sometime in your travels, you can also always do it, because I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon. If it's been here this long, I think it's been sitting here, I think I read, since like 2015 or something like that. So it's been here for quite a while. But it is unbelievably huge. This is so cool. Look at these big old tires, like some 747 tires you would see. Kinda similar, not exactly, but you know. This here's the mechanism they use to pull it. Max speed 5 miles per hour. I don't know what that's for, but wow, this is something else. And they got the payload over here on the side. It says weight 5,700 pounds, design payload 75,000 pounds. Whew. God, this is unbelievable how big this thing is. Kind of come over here to this side of it. In a way, it's kind of sad that it is just kind of sitting right here side of river, just kind of rotting away and getting really ugly looking. Especially on this side, a lot of this like black soot looking stuff is kind of forming, mold, things like that, sitting out here just baking in the hot Floridian sun every day, you know. But golly, look at the size of that. Is that not freaking crazy? Wow, unbelievable. This is just so fascinating. This thing is just sitting here like this. All right, my friends, that will pretty much conclude today's vlog. I got to get back up to North Carolina, but as I was driving through Florida, there are just so many cool things throughout this state. If you just take a little extra time, or if you have a little extra time, to just stop in certain places and look at some of this stuff, it's pretty cool. You know, I mean, not every day you get to say, hey, guess what I seen yesterday, or come check this out, man. I got to see like a real fuel cell for a space shuttle. So that's pretty cool. And growing up in the 80s, you know, the space shuttle, I had toy space shuttles and stuff. You know, I love that type of stuff, you know, and I still do. You know, it's kind of sad that it's no more. But it's kind of funny, about a week ago I was at Cocoa Beach and I actually got to watch the launch of the SpaceX rocket go up, and that was really exciting. They did a night launch about 10 o'clock at night, and it was really cool, and I actually posted some footage of it on my TikTok. So if you go on TikTok and type in Hitchhiking Yeti SpaceX launch, you know, you'll probably get to see the video I made. So it was a lot of fun, really cool. And that'll pretty much do it for me today. Thank you so much for watching. I'm the Hitchhiking Yeti, friends, and I will see you in my next adventure. And by the way, if you enjoyed today's vlog, please think about subscribing. And if you really enjoyed today's vlog, please give me a big old thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Lets me know you care. Until next time I'm all done, this video is over. And it's really over because I'm in Florida and it's about 95 degrees out here. And it is a bit warm, a bit hot, if you know what I mean. All right, we're all done. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much, guys. Y'all stay safe, and I will see you in our next mission. I had to say it like that because, hey man, right here's the, you know, piece of the space shuttle. They went on missions. Okay, I'm really done now.